Hey guys, this is Roger from Roger's Rigs. We're talking about canned venison. We got a little bit of a different way to do it. We don't use a pressure cooker. But it's worked for us. This is the third generation of families who haven't died from eating venison that's been put in a jar, boiled to death, and kept for up to 2 years. Huge advantages to canned venison. One is you can use your junky meat, like this is burger meat here, but like the neck off a buck, a bunch of this is buck neck. You know how hard that is to clean up or to try to make it into something? Bear meat, it works really well. You can take the pretty rugged meat with a fair amount of not the greatest parts on it, silver skin and stuff. You pack it in there, and as it boils, all that nasty stuff, the silver skin breaks down, the fats actually roll up to the top, it separates and makes a pretty darn pure and nice meat. So we're gonna go through the process. The first thing is finding any old chunks of meat that are not maybe your best meat, maybe your grinder meat, and I cut them into basically 1-ish inch squares. And now we're gonna take them up to upstairs in the kitchen. Alright, so the key here is clean. You want a jar the last couple of years without refrigeration. You don't want any little bugs squirming around in there. So we run these through the dishwasher to get them super clean, super hot. The rings and the lids, they're clean to begin with, and we pour boiling water on them so they are sterilized. The next thing you gotta do, and it takes a fair bit of meat for this, it's almost 2 pounds of meat per jar, is place the meat in the jar and pack it really quite tight. You can't, if you have a lot of space around it, it's going to end up turning into a bunch of air space on top, and that is, that's where, again, where some bacteria and stuff could maybe have a heyday. So I actually stomp it in there a little bit with a spoon, and I'm looking for it packed tight and up to just below the neck, the shoulder, the ring on the top. If you have too much in there, then you have other problems. It's really simple. Like, that's it. So you pack that in there, so that is like solid meat as much as you possibly can, and even Steven with about there. Then it's 3/4 of a teaspoon of canning and pickling salt. What's the difference between canning and pickling salt and other salt? I don't know. But that's what they say to do. And so that's what we do. I imagine this is specialized for canning and pickling. So there's 3/4 teaspoon. We put that on top. Now you can have some other fun with this. You can put onions in there. I usually put a little Montreal steak seasoning in there because I pretty much cook everything with Montreal steak seasoning.
And butter.
And butter, yes. The other beauty of this too, just before, when you get home from ice fishing or whatever and you're tired and you forgot to take anything out of the freezer, this is ready in 5 minutes. You just pop the top, take the junk off the top, throw it in a pan, warm it up, and in about 5-10 minutes, you've got warm cooked meat. So there's the lid. We put that on. Then I'll show you the boiling process. Now you have to have the right amount of water in here. This is a standard hot water bath canning container. In that you can fit 7 full quart jars, and you need to have 4.5 inches of water in there to begin with. That, with the displacement of the jars, will bring the water up to the top. It's key throughout this process to make sure that the water never boils off to the point that the jar lids are exposed to the air. That doesn't happen that often, but I usually keep a teapot nearby with hot water, and I feed just a little bit just to be paranoid about it. Do not get this water that you start with super hot. That's from the tap water hot, so it's probably 100, 120 degrees at the most. If you get that super crazy hot and you put these jars with this cold meat in it, you can snap the jars, and that's sad. So we want to avoid that. We load this thing up. We bring it up to a boil, and then let it boil for 3 hours. Fortunately, you're not stoking a fire to keep that going on. We let it boil for 3 hours, and then we let it rest and cool. Make sure that the tops, which now are popping, all seal. We have never had a top not seal. We've been doing this for years and really generations. I'm not guaranteeing you that you won't die, and if you do die, do not comment below. But more than likely, this seems to be an effective way to store. The other big advantage is you don't use up any space in your freezer. And if your freezer goes down, you still have meat. Thank you for watching this. By the way, we've got videos on how to make burger. We got some super burger going on here, some sausage, a whole bunch of things about fish packaging, freezing your meats. Check out our channel. Please like and subscribe and share this stuff and throw some comments below. I'd love to know how you handle your meats. Thanks for watching.